Good afternoon, Five Biters. I am driving my husband's truck, so I'll be watching the road. I just picked up some corn stalks from the local farmer, and I have my little one with me, so I need to be super careful, but I haven't had time all day, so I'm just gonna do it this way. And I'm driving super slow. So, there are lots of people passing me because that's the nature of this beast right at the moment. But in any case, I wanted to talk to you about something very important that has been coming up lately, and that is called the whoosh. And I've seen that a lot over the last 3 years as a 5-bite participant and also as an admin in the last 6 months, as I know many of you have. But a lot of new people have never heard of this. And many people have not realized the patterns that come up that precipitate the whoosh. So what happens is, what people think is a plateau, they will be at the same weight for a day or two, 3 days, and they start to tell themselves things. They start to criticize themselves. They start to judge themselves. This is when people generally end up having a huge binge, or they fall off altogether. Some people quit. Some people leave the group because they have this shame-based mentality and they fall back into old habits. This is very common. This is part of the nature of the beast that brought a lot of us to the place that we are. So I want to talk to you about something that has been not discovered, but when you look at people who have done this long term and have been very successful, we have noticed a pattern. The pattern of the whoosh, I'm going to call it. The pattern of the whoosh is, and I'll preface this with, a plateau is not a plateau unless you're stuck at the same weight for 2 full weeks. Okay? And the reason for that is that sometimes your metabolism has to adjust. Sometimes women especially are dealing with that time of the month. There just are different reasons: salt intake, stress levels, variations in your work schedule, foods you're eating, holidays, salt intake. Okay, so aside from all of that, that's a plateau is 2 weeks. But the pattern is maintain, whoosh. Usually it's a 3-day pattern, sometimes 4. So sometimes you'll get maintain, bump, maintain, whoosh. Maintain, bump, maintain, whoosh. So if you look at your scale and you maintained, that's usually like not a big deal. But then on day 3, you have a bump. And you're like, okay, I didn't even eat. What the heck just happened? And then the next day you maintain. And now you're like, all right, forget it. I'm having pizza. Now you just blew it, man. You just blew it. You cannot fail if you don't quit. And if you go have pizza, I mean, ultimately, you just quit. Because now, a week from now, you're going to be like, okay, let me go reset and try this again. After you just gained 7 pounds. Like, that is just not fair. You have to stick with this. And if you stick with this, you're going to be fine. Because what's going to happen is, if you stuck with it, the following day, literally, you're going to drop 3 pounds. Boom. You had your whoosh. And it's the equivalent of a pound or 2 a day, which we say 5 to 7 pounds a week, 7 to 10 pounds a week, depending on who you are. So I want you to be aware of this. You need to stop judging yourself. If you see yourself maintain, bump, whoosh, either start monitoring your patterns or stay off the scale. I mean, if you can't get your head into the right space, it's better to stay off the scale. Weigh yourself every Wednesday and take your weekly average and stick with that, because it's better for you to be in the right headspace and stay on course. It's better to stay on course. And I love each and every one of you. And God bless each and every one of you. Say goodbye, Liam.